Hi everybody, Melissa here from CloudMom. I got a question on baby scheduling, my favorite. This is my sweet spot. It's coming in from Darini on Facebook. Here's what she says. Okay, I have a question. My baby is 4 months old. He's able to fall asleep by himself for naps and at night as well. That sounds good. Problem is, he sleeps at night around 9 p.m. and he wakes up at around 1 or 2 a.m. for feeding. Then he wakes up again at 3 a.m. My husband is insisting to let him cry and let him learn to fall asleep by himself. I'm not sure if I should let him cry. I try to give him a chance to soothe himself first, and then if it doesn't work out, then I have to pick him up and I have to rock him to sleep. I also have heard many parents saying their baby sleeps 12 hours straight. I'm wondering, how can I make my baby sleep through the night? I might be expecting way too much from a 4-month-old. I would appreciate any suggestions or advice. Thanks. Darini, I think this is sort of a yes and no. Yes, in some ways you're probably expecting a bit too much, because I personally think people exaggerate when they talk about when their baby slept through the night a lot. You know, I've heard this from certain people, like their mother-in-law is like, you slept through the night at 2 weeks. I'm like, really? That's kind of strange. But at the same time, I don't think you're expecting too much, because I think there are probably a few things you could do to, tweak your schedule a little bit, and probably to get some longer stints, coming in there at night based on what the schedule can be for what your baby is, which is your baby is a formula feeding baby who's around 4 months old. So please check out the schedule I've done for formula feeding babies who are 4 months old. Generally, what you're going to see is that these babies should eat at least every 4 hours. So figure 7, 11, 3, 7. And where I think you have the biggest opportunity to make a difference here is with the top-off feed. 9 o'clock for a last feed is early. I would try for 11. And remember, for all the feeds that you're doing during the day, you want to make sure your baby is awake and full when they stop eating. So you're giving them the bottle, you're burping them, you're introducing the bottle again. If they sort of fall asleep, that doesn't mean the meal's over. Try to keep your baby awake. Change their clothing, change their diapers, sing to them, whatever it takes to try to make sure they're awake, burped, and full. Then you can feed them at least every 4 hours. Some babies will wake up before then hungry, and by all means at that point feed them. When you stick to a schedule like this, and I've talked about this time and time and time again because it truly is my experience, 2 things happen. Your baby starts to get a lot of the food and nutrition they need during the day. Plus, they're awake for a lot of the day because they're eating and feeding, so they tend to start to get more tired at night and to need less food during the night. So when the baby's very young, after that 11 p.m. top-off feed, you might then have a 3 a.m. feed and then another feed at 7 a.m., which is basically the beginning of your next day. Over time, the 3 a.m. feed will start to go away. Then the 11 p.m. top-off feed will start to go away. And look what you're looking at then. You have between 7 p.m. until 7 a.m. This, however, I really don't think is happening already in most cases at 4 months. So anyway, pay attention to all your feeds during the day. Make sure the baby's awake and full. Try to do one more top-off feed before the baby goes to sleep. Get that baby in the crib. You go right to sleep yourself. And sooner or later, those nighttime feeds are going to start dropping off. I do think this is way too early to have a baby cry himself to sleep. That's not the issue with a 4-month-old, in my view. When those babies wake up in the night and they're hungry, they need to eat. And I don't think they soothe. Personally, you ask your doctor and ask some friends, but mine did not soothe until they found their thumb, actually, which later on created some teeth problems for us, but that really was it. So at that stage, I was still swaddling a bunch of babies or doing some sort of swaddle. They didn't have their thumb yet. They weren't self-soothing, and they would wake up and cry. That to me is a very different thing. But a baby waking up the way you're describing it, who's hungry for a bottle, that baby's looking to eat. I think it's too early to have them cry it out. So anyway, those are my thoughts. I really appreciate your writing in. Please let me know how it goes. I hope it's helpful. Congratulations on your beautiful babies, and I look forward to hopefully hearing from you again on CloudMom.